Hey all, here are OS reviews. About a year ago, when Bluetooth 5.0 earbuds first started to hit the market, we checked out the PadMate PaMu Scroll. These were actually a pretty cool pair of earbuds that still works really well and has an interesting battery case made out of leather, a very distinctive design, and the latest Bluetooth 5.0 chip. I liked them a lot back then, and now the company is back with their newest pair of earbuds. It's called the PaMu Slide. This time around, this product is available on Indiegogo for $50 and claims to be a great option for sports and athletes due to its snug fit, and it's called a slide because it has a sliding mechanism for the battery case. Now there's also a bit more of an expensive version that sells for $20 more, $70 if you want Qi wireless charging built into the battery case, but again the normal edition is only $50. So it's cheaper than the original PaMu Scroll and has a bit more of a rugged design that can withstand the elements more. It's no longer made out of the soft leather material, but again it's polycarbonate plastic and resists sweat. The earbuds themselves claim to last up to 10 hours on a single charge. Part of the long battery life is due to the newest Qualcomm chip that they're using, the H3, which they claim is actually newer than what you'll find on the competing Apple AirPod 2, which is still the older generation Qualcomm chip. And inside we have a hard box that is magnetized, and we have just the PaMu Slide inside. Below that compartment, we have some of the accessories, which include a USB Type-C cable for fast charging. The battery case can be charged up in about 2.5 hours, some spare silicone tips to get a more snug fit, and also the user manual, which is actually documented in a pretty dense little book, in addition to a quick guide that tells you what the correct tip should be to fit into your ears. Taking a closer look at the battery case, it is very distinctive looking, like a cube, and the textured surface reminds me a lot of a speaker, like a Google Home Mini, but of course it doesn't actually blast out sound. It's just for texture that makes it easier to grip onto when you snap it open and also snap it closed. Again, it's very satisfying, just like those older slider phones that we used to have back in the day. Now inside we have just the earbuds themselves, which are stuck into these magnetized grooves, and there's two contact points that it relies on for charging. There's an LED light, and again the stem itself is touch sensitive, which acts as play pause commands, and you can long hold on each stem to turn the volume up and turn the volume down. We'll take a closer look at that in a moment. Now on the back, this is what it looks like. These are the grooves for the slider to work. The back here is made out of plastic, but the rails are made out of metal, and there are also magnets on the very top so that the slider stays in place without moving around in your bag. Once also plugged into power, you see the same LED start to flash to tell you its charging status. And on the very bottom here, we just have some simple specs. The battery case is 2000 milliamp hours, so it is quite large in terms of its capacity, and also ensures that you'll get some more juice when on the road. With that being said, the dimensions of the battery case are also larger than the aforementioned Apple AirPods, as you can see here, so it is going to be a bit thicker, but still is good enough to put into a backpack pocket without adding too much bulk. Just note that it is going to be a little heavier, but you get longer battery life as the result. And here are the aforementioned PaMu Scroll headphones. In my quick testing thus far, I have found that it is definitely very comfortable, and because of the soft touch rubber accents going on, they didn't really fall out even as I was moving, even running, and stayed very securely in my ears, despite the fact they don't have a larger outer wing which catches onto the outside of your ears. What's interesting though is this soft touch rubber accent can actually be removed from the earphones themselves. If for whatever reason you want to swap them out, change the color, or replace it, that is actually possible. Moving into performance and audio quality, they definitely sound extremely clean, as well as just very natural in terms of the overall sound signature. There's plenty of bass here, but also a good balance of mids and highs, and as a whole they're just extremely comfortable even for long-term listening sessions, which can stretch on for hours and hours. Overall, the sound quality is very pleasant, and there's very little distortion. You can listen very closely, you can even turn the volume all the way down, but you won't really find any hissing or humming in the background. When it comes to other elements of the sound, such as the latency, overall it's also quite good. You can play and pause a track very quickly, and there is not too much lag at all. In fact, it's one of the better pairs I've come across. It might not be 100% perfect, but for watching back videos on Netflix, Hulu, and YouTube, it is going to be very pleasurable. And compared to the Apple AirPods, I would say it's as good, if not a little bit better even. Found the bass to be pretty good. It's not the most bass-heavy earbuds that I've ever tried, but as a whole, if you are a bass head, you should still feel the bass here on EDM tracks with drum drum beats, it still comes alive, draws out very vibrant characteristics of the music that you're listening to, especially on acoustic tracks. And as a whole, I would say they get pretty close even to being hi-fi grade as far as wireless earbuds are concerned. Wireless charging also works quite well. The interesting thing though is you don't actually set it like this onto the charging pad, but rather you put it, in my opinion, upside down so that the fabric touches the pad surface. It adds a bit more resistance and prevents it from sliding around. But you put it down and you can see it immediately starts charging up. And again, it's a feature that you simply won't find on the older generation PaMu scroll headphone. The built-in microphone also worked well enough when I used it for a sample phone call earlier. The caller said that I sounded like I was actually using just the microphone on my regular cell phone, which is always a good sign. There's a little bit of ambient background noise reduction if you are in a crowded space, even though the microphone is pretty far away from your mouth. Overall, if you are just in a kind of casually walking around, I think that they will suffice for making the quick phone call or two. So I would say that the sound quality through the microphone is also above average. That's more or less it as far as our hands-on review of the PaMu Slide. Out of these current generation Bluetooth 5.0 earbuds, I think that these are definitely one of the best value pairs on the market, just because for $50 you get a battery case which is very distinctive. It feels extremely solid in terms of construction. The slider mechanism is not only fun to play around with, but allows you to very securely snap them closed without losing the earbuds, and then popping them back open again is just very seamless and natural. You also get very long battery life, again over 10 hours on a single charge, and we have 6 top-ups with the battery case. We also have access to, again, very good sound quality with low latency, a good amount of bass for earbuds, and a very snug and comfortable fit. You can check out more details if interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our video. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the PaMu Slide from PadMate. These are true wireless earbuds with a slider form factor battery case using Bluetooth 5.0.